Hello, my name is Sylvia Warren, and I'm recording this presentation for my managerial economics class. The title of my presentation is Budget Constraints Simplified to Bite Size. What is a budget constraint? A budget constraint occurs when a consumer is limited in consumption patterns by a certain income. In this example, I am limited to my purse and shoe obsession for my core budget constraint. Income equals the number of product X times the price of product X plus a number of product Y times the price of product Y. In this example, we already know the price of product X is $20. So let's figure for Y, which is unknown. If we have a budget constraint and we spend all of our money on product X, here's how we figure it. Since we know that the cost of product X is $20, we multiply the $20 times 10 units. $20 times 10 units means we're spending $200 if we were to spend all of our money on product X. Again, the price of product Y is currently unknown. Let's look at step 2 to figure how to solve for product Y. We know the price of product X is $20. So let's just say we're spending all of our money on product Y, which is shoes. We take product Y times 10 equals $200, which is our budget constraint. We divide both sides by 10, and that gives us the price of product Y, which is $20. What if my quarterly budget decreases to $100? Since we know the price of good X is $20, then we can calculate, and we know that we can only buy 5 purses if that's the only product that we buy. This is how we figure it. We take our $100 budget constraint, divide it by the cost of the product, and that means we can only buy 5 units of that product. If we only buy good Y, then we can only buy 5 of those goods as well. The formula is the same way. We calculate it the same way. $100 divided by $20, which is the cost of the product means we can only buy 5 units. Now let's look at 2 examples. We have point A on the table to your left, the graph to your left, and then we also have point B. These are 2 different scenarios. What if we buy 2 purses? Purses are good X or product X. Then how many pair of shoes, which is good Y, can we buy? Here's how you figure it out. 2 purses times the cost of the purse, which is $20, means we're spending $40 on that product. My budget is now $100. So I can only buy 3 purses because $60 divided by $20 equals 3. The $60 is the amount of money remaining. The cost of the product is $20. That means we can only buy 3 units. My total budget constraint, again, is $100. If we're spending $40 for good X, which is purses, and $60 for good Y, which is shoes, then we have met our budget constraint of $100. Let's see point B. With a budget constraint of $160, what if we buy 5 pairs of shoes, which is product X, product Y or good Y? Then how many purses or product or good X can we buy? Here's how you solve. 5 times $20, which is the cost of the product, of X, which is X, means we're paying $100 for good X. My budget is now $160, so I can buy only 3 purses because the $60 that remains divided by the cost means that I can only buy 3 purses. My total budget constraint is $160. We're paying $100 for good Y, which are my shoes, and we're paying $60 for good X, which are my purses. These are 2 scenarios. Very simple. What if the price of purses doubled? Now, I'm really, really sore about this, so I grudgingly reduce the number of units from 10 to 2. Purses are now $40. I'm only able to buy 2 purses. They're $40 each, which means I'm paying $80 for those 2 units. So that leaves me with only $20 to buy, yes, 1 pair of shoes, because my income is now only $100. If you look below at the graph, that is reflected in area C. As you can see, these are the changes from A to B to C. Our budget line rotates depending on the budget constraint, how many units we purchase, and the indifference curve moves from right to left, which means we're not better off. We're actually worse off. By the time we end up at point C, the indifference curve has moved all the way down to the bottom. These are just some simple examples of budget constraints. Thank you for listening.